Newsmax kind of did a bit of journalism, or at least a little bit more reminiscent of journalism than Fox was willing to do. A Newsmax host, I can't be bothered to learn their names, and you shouldn't either, had Mark Meadows on and actually asked him about the text messages. Let's see how that went.
Conservative media runs away from this story. We're not afraid of it here. I think it's a grossly over-exaggerated story, but I also think it was a very bad day for this country. I don't think it's anywhere near what the Democrats think it was. They've got reports of text messages they say that you gave them that show Fox hosts saying, hey, you got to get this under control. Trump needs to say something. Don Jr. saying something. What's your response to all this tonight?
Yeah, obviously it's not a surprising decision by the committee. We really need to look at what it's all about. They have nothing to run on. They want to talk about Build Back Busted, and yet what they've done is had a contempt vote. We've tried very hard in a very transparent and accommodating way to share non-privileged information.
Build Back Busted isn't as clever as I think he thought it was. So he was asked by that journalist, what about the text messages that were revealed? And even that guy had to be like, not that I care about it. It wasn't really a big deal or whatever. And what I love though about that, Nina, was him saying like, other conservative media is fleeing from it and Newsmax won't, which presumably has nothing to do with the fact that he thinks this makes Fox look bad. And Newsmax sees their only avenue to getting more viewership is taking it from Fox. So, okay, it's a little bit convenient that in this case, you'll pretend to be doing journalism. That said, Mark Meadows doesn't engage with the content of the text messages literally for even a second, Nina. He says, I'm not surprised they would attack us. Yeah, but what about what they said? What about the fact that Mark Meadows replied that he is pushing back against Trump strongly, trying to get him to do something?
Now, there's a saying, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Mm-hmm. And that's really what Mark Meadows did right there. Won't let the truth get in the way of a good story that they're propagating and continuing even to this moment, knowing the damage. Threatening to lynch the vice president of the United States of America. You don't think that's serious? You think that the people on the Democratic side are exaggerating that, using that because they don't have anything to run? No, sir. You are wrong. You are deflecting. It was a cluster on January the 6th, and that's being kind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the self-censorship there. Let's give one more chance. Is Mark Meadows going to engage with the content of what was revealed? Let's take a look.
Is that not only did that just get disregarded, but then they tried to weaponize text message, selectively leak them to put out a narrative that, quite frankly, that the president didn't act. And I can tell you, the president did act. This is all about, it's not about holding me in contempt. It's about coming after President Donald Trump. And sadly, that's what tonight's vote was all about.
Well, Trump didn't do anything. So I guess in some ways, yes, it is kind of about him. He's doing the MAGA thing of like, everybody they're coming for Trump. Don't pay attention to the content. And again, he wouldn't acknowledge it. Why are so many prominent Republican figures desperately trying to get you to act? And why were you responding to them that you too were trying to get him to do more than he was doing? Was that true? Or were you lying? In either case, I find that interesting. What were your thoughts about the timeline of January 6th? You can't just say, well, they're attacking. Okay, sure, they're attacking. Now let's talk about the action. You apparently didn't do anything wrong. You would have us believe. So tell us what you actually did. But no, it's like, this is why, again, we've been somewhat critical of since even before there was this January 6th commission, but it is the only way we're going to learn anything about this. He's not going to freely talk about it. So if we're going to learn anything at all, it's going to have to be from these leaks of text messages and phone records and things like that.
If we didn't know before, John, it becomes crystal clear in that particular interview why Meadows was the chief of staff. Mm-hmm. He is going to shield for Donald J. no matter what the cost, even a moment of the magnitude of what happened on January 6th. He knows the truth. The president did not act. The president poured the gasoline on the fire. That's what he did. He did that, and they got to own this. And they're still starting, the fire all across this country with the things that they're doing and propagating and putting out there and just adding to the discord that is happening right now. They did that. President Trump did that, and he could have been very presidential. He could have done something that was against his nature. Did not do it, but he could have stood up to those people and said, "You're wrong, and I need you to stand down."
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.